All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Dash. The honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, the women, the children, the confusion of faith who follow. So, as you can see, I wanted to get into this word, studious. All right, so, you know, Lord's word is going to be an edifying video. So, this is studious, it's an adjective. It says zealous, diligent, eager, devoted to study, assiduous, which get this word real quick. Is attentive, devoted, constant in application. So you're continually doing it, okay? Busy, constant, okay? Diligent. And what is it talking about? It's talking about in your studies, learning, ever learning, all right, improving your knowledge in this truth. All right, it says eagerness, zeal, eager to learn, devoted to learning. So if you're a studious gentleman or a studious individual, then you're eager to learn. All right, you're hungry for knowledge. All right, that's for Abba hungry for truth. Um, and then it goes back to the word study. It says to strive forward, devote oneself to cultivate. All right, we like that word cultivate, so let's get that. It says figurative sense of improving by labor or study, devote one's attention to. Right, so you're focused. All right, you're focused on um, improving. All right, by labor, by putting in the work. All right, because you're not going to achieve your goals. You're not going to level up. You're not going to move up or be what you want to be, reach your full potential if you don't put in the work. All right, that goes to me first and everyone else as well. I mean, it's plain. So let's get a couple of these precepts. This is Proverbs 13:4. It says, "The soul of the sluggard desireth and have nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat." All right, so let's go to the NLT. It says, "Lazy people want much, but get little." Why is that? Because they're not willing to do the work, put in the work in order to get the thing, get the things that they actually want. Okay, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. What does that mean? The diligent, okay, constantly, okay, over and over and over again, drilling. Are you want it? That's that fervent love. All right. It said shall be made rich. And it's not even talking about monetarily, all right, because you could be rich in knowledge. All right. Whatever, if you're working out and you keep working, you're going to be made rich. Your body is going to be made rich in its results. And this can go into anything, man, but we're talking about studies. So if you're continually in your studies, then you're going to see that improvement. All right, you're going to remember more precepts. You're going to become a better reader. You're going to become a better speaker. These are the things these are all the different uh, compounds of the truth. So we have to work at these things and, by and by. As a matter of fact, let's get this next one. This is Ecclesiasticus 38:24 says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure." What is the opportunity of leisure? That's your free time. So in your free time, when you can, F off and do whatever, no, a wise man takes that opportunity to put in work, or to study, to be studious. It says, "And he that have little business shall become wise." Right. So if you got all these distractions in your life, all these things pulling you every different which way, then you're not gonna. It's gonna be a lot harder for you to reach that goal of becoming that studious gentleman, to becoming that studious man. Always, it's not even that you always studying, but you're putting in the work at a consistent basis. Okay, so let's get this Joshua. This is Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. It says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. Right. So he says it should not depart out of thy mouth day nor night. All right. But you should meditate in it day and night. All right. Fuck yeah. The book should not depart of thy mouth, but you should meditate therein day and night. Right. So every opportunity that you get, use it as a chance to improve yourself in this thing. Okay. Everything is a learning opportunity. Everything is spiritual. So I'll give you an example. Me coming up with this lesson. The word studious. It's just a line that came into my head from an old Martin episode where he said, "Oh, you're a studious fellow." And I said, "Well, what does that word studious mean?" And I came up with a gem. You know, it goes back to study and to be zealous and to be diligent and eager and devoted to the study. And that's what we are. We are devoted to the study of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in order to edify the nation. All right, to feed the sheep. That's what our task was. All right, to be watchmen for the people. All right, it says in the middle of verse 8, it says, "For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success." Right, so you got to constantly meditate day and night on this thing. All right, there shouldn't go a day when you're not trying to learn something new or improve in one area or another. All right, it's always good to get a so-called revelation. Always improving to be better, always trying to get better. That's what all the great athletes, and when you read quotes from great athletes, they all say the same thing. You fall down, but you get back up. You fall down, but you get back up. You fall down, but you get back up. Or while everyone else was sleeping, I was working. You hear all these different quotes, and why? Because they wanted to get better. And it's the same thing in its truth. If you want to get better, you have to put the work in. All right. So let's get an example. All right. This is Luke chapter 2 and verse 39. It says, "And when they had performed all things according to the law of the Lord, they returned into Galilee. They returned into Galilee to their own city, Nazareth. And the child grew and waxed strong in the spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of the Most High was upon him." Speaking of Yahweh Shai. And this is how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to grow and wax strong in the spirit. Now, of course, this is Yahweh Shai, but this is the level that we ought to want to be. All right, so let's see his studiousness. Okay, he says, "Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. Uh, And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the customs of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, they returned, and the child Yahushua tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolks and acquaintance." So nobody traveled alone. Or you had a convoy, so to speak, a group of closely related people, family, friends, that all traveled together. It's safer. So when they didn't see Yahweh Shai, they thought, okay, well, he's mingled somewhere, in with the people. So they didn't really notice. Okay, verse 45. "And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing him and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and his answers, because he was studious." All right, yeah, of course he's the chosen one. He's Yahweh Shai. He's that firstborn spirit. But it said that, going back up to verse 40, it said that he waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom. Okay? He grew and he waxed strong in the spirit. Right. So as he grew, his spirit grew. And his ambition and he devoted himself to the craft at the age of 12. So let me see. Verse 48, it says, "And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not, wish ye not that I be about my father's business, right? So he's about that business. He's about the Most High's business, okay? And that's how we have to be. We have to be about, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's business, which is learning this gospel, preaching and teaching this gospel, growing in this gospel, being a brother, building up the people, building up the Akim, the younger brothers. All right, it's a never ending job, and you can only get better and better and better. There is no limit that you can reach in this thing. Okay, so that's all I really had. Lord's will, this was edifying, and you learned a new word just like I did. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakar Kadash, the honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, the women and children, and the confusion of the face who follow. Shalom.